Welcome to Director Pepper Social Club on the Daily Parks and Rec Show, where parks and recreation leaders share ideas, experiences, and leadership insights. Today we're bringing you an inspiring conversation filled with lessons, strategies, and stories that make a difference. Every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where leaders connect and grow. In this episode, Papa J welcomes Brad J for a fun conversation about his journey through radio, sports, the Olympics, travel, and life's adventures.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Papa J, Jonathan Skinner from the the Director Pepper Social Club. Glad you're here on a Friday. Got a really special guest, a fellow Lompocian, but we'll get in that in a second. So a little bit about the Director Pepper Social Club. Started in 2019, Carlo. My station person is Carlo. He's pretty studly, but anyway, started 2019, April 4th, 2019, where myself, you'll see me there. Across from me is Kevin the Hawk Hawkins, and we're directors down in Southern California. Kevin called and said, "Hey, Skinner," that's back when they used to call me Skinner. It's like, "Hey, can we get together and, get directors and talk, more often than, at CPRS or NRP?" I said, "Sure, man, that sounds great." So we called a couple people. The person to Kevin's left is Jonathan Nix from, back then he was from Paris, city of Paris. And then next to me is Brian Ambrose, who is from the city of Marietta. Kevin goes first to the restaurant, Black Bear in Marietta. He orders a Dr. Pepper. Unbeknownst to him, it's like my favorite drink. I ordered it. Jonathan Nix comes and he orders a Dr. Pepper. And then Brian Ambrose came and ordered a Dr. Pepper as well. Thus, the Dr. Pepper Social Club was founded. And it's actually an opportunity for us to talk about recreation, but also talk about leadership, but mainly about our personal lives. Because, we spend more time with people at work than we do with our family. From the starting, April 4th, 2019, we grew to 20 different agencies in the Southern California area, and it's still going today. When I decided to retire at the beginning of 2026, actually in June, Craig LeBlanc from DPRS said, "Hey, Papa J, can you think about doing a podcast about leadership?" And I said, "Sure. I've heard about this Dr. Pepper Club, and I think it'd be really good to start." And so that's how the Director Pepper Social Club started. So what we're going to do is we have some great people that are helping to fund us and DPRS and getting this on. So Carlo's going to show some advertising, if you will. And then we'll come back. We get started with some informational stuff, and then we'll get started with our special guests. Go ahead, take it away, Carlo.
It's not just water. It's responsibility. It's leadership. It's not just drowning prevention or water safety. It's life. And every day, aquatics professionals make decisions that save lives. Because aquatics is more than swim lessons. It's community. It's creativity. It's impact. For over 30 years, aquatics hasn't just been my profession. It's been my life. I've seen the challenges, the pressure, the grind, but I've also seen the power of great leadership and what happens when communities come together. This is where education meets entertainment, where real conversations happen, where aquatics professionals come together to learn, lead, and grow. Because aquatics should bring people together. This is Aquatics Life, streaming on DPRS Media Network.
Thank you for that, Carlo. Really excited about, the being on this platform is pretty awesome. I want to thank Craig for the opportunity. So one of the shows you saw on there was Wesley King, who does the Aquatics Life. His show is right after ours. But Carlo, you want to go ahead and bring up the picture of all of our team here. This podcast started out as something Craig started about 2 years ago. He had one show, the Leadership Series, and I was grateful enough to be on that show. Since then, we actually had a meeting this morning. We have over 15 to 17 various podcasters that are doing things on recreation. Doesn't matter if you're looking for something for youth sports, all the way to the mental health of us recreators, to leadership and everything in between. So here's a guide that we have up on LinkedIn and also on our Facebook page that shows you what we have Monday through Friday. And here's the thing, there's more shows and podcasts that are coming up on a daily basis. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for being here. Carlo, one of the other things we want to do is we actually have a YouTube page. And if you're looking for any of our shows or any of our sessions, we're on there. You can actually go to our own site to see all the different shows. This is probably my 14th show, so it's kind of cool. But what we need to do is get to 1,000 subscribers. If we get to that 1,000 subscribers, then you'll actually be able to see this show live on the air on YouTube. So please go and subscribe. There's nothing that you have to buy or anything. You just have to come in and listen. And we have so many great people that come on the show. So with that being said, I'm very honored to bring somebody that actually we grew up in Lompoc, California, a little city in California, Northern California. And he went on to do some pretty incredible things on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the world famous Brad J. Where you at, Brad?
How do I live up to that, dude? That's a pretty lofty intro right there. You just threw on
Hey,
me.
you know what? The thing is, us Lompocians, we had to show people that, we're more than just flowers, which is what we're really known for. And before we get started, Brad, just want to let you know, if you're watching the show right now, you can go ahead and it's a live show. So if you have questions for myself or Brad,
Oh, wow.
go ahead and
Okay.
type it in. And then if we see it, when we see it, we'll go ahead and give you an answer and go from there. So Brad, so glad you're here. He's going to go into the whole surf thing. He's the hero of mine. I'll say that. So how we start, B-Dog, is I watch Marvel movies and DC movies, and I believe a lot in the origin story of the superhero. Everybody has.
Okay.
One. So give us a elevator speech of the origin story of Brad J. And I did some reading up on you, man, and talk about where you started at in high school and then to where you're at today.
Started at the bottom, now we're here. So there you go. I was a youth that just, I was from a good family. My parents had money. They were great. But I just was like, I just wanted to have fun. I was always wanted to be the life of the party or be at the right place at the right time. So I always wanted to do all this stuff. And so with that, my dad was, like, man, you're not going the route that I did. He was military lieutenant colonel for two war campaigns. And I was just kind of been a surfer and just doing my thing and not going to school as much, cutting class, going surfing all the time. And it was all for the fun of it. And I think at one point I was 18 years old and my dad just said to me, he goes, man, what are you doing? These guys you're hanging out with, and the guys I was hanging out with, they're not going anywhere and you're not going anywhere if you continue to do what you're doing. Why are you still riding a skateboard at 18 years old? And, I was just, because it's fun, because I just wanted to enjoy what I did. And being from Lompoc, I wanted to move to Santa Barbara immediately because I wanted to have Santa Barbara weather. I wanted to be able to obviously chase the girls around a little bit. I wanted to be able to go surfing without a wetsuit on, all that kind of stuff. And so that's what I wanted to do. So moving to Santa Barbara, what I did right out of high school, because high school was a mess for me. I mean, I played sports. My first in ninth grade at Lompoc High, 10th grade I played sports, and by then I'd found surfing, Papa J, and I was just like, man, I don't want to play sports anymore. And like, I just want to go surfing all the time. And that's what I started doing. We would drive to Halama, El Capitan, Refugio, and surfing became it.
Used to do
And
boogie boarding over at Halama.
yeah, I mean, but that's what just chasing what we want to do. And from Lompoc, my dad was a broker, insurance, and also a real estate broker as well. He ran for
Hey,
Fort.
real quick, Brad, is that picture that you sent? Is that your dad?
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Carlo, could you bring up that picture
Hold
of
that
the
up.
gentleman with the
The
t-shirt?
shirt, yeah. The black and white photo with the and he's holding the shirt going like
He
that.
held the shirt up, yeah.
Yeah. That graphic was what he did there was my dad had made the centennial graphic for the Lompoc Flower Festival, and he was very proud of it. And it wasn't much of a graphic. There it is. So that's my dad holding it. 74. And look at that. I don't know what that is, but he was pretty proud of that. Yeah, he was pretty proud of that right there. And he was a big, in Lompoc, he was larger than life type of guy. So to try to live up to his expectations, I was just like, you know what? I just need to go chase it in Santa Barbara. And that's what I did. And that was like, once high school told me, Brad, to graduate on time, to graduate at all, you would need to go an extra 2 years to high school. Now, you do have all your courses except for 2 that count as, the ones you're supposed to have. But if you got those 2, you could go to an adult school and get a diploma. So I chased that. I went there and chased the diploma down and got it. And then I was off to Santa Barbara by 82.
Hey, could you bring up the picture of Brad and the gentleman at 92.9 on their shirt?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So that was 1997 or 98. I think that's 98 right there. And that's my good friend Dave Mormon, who's the co-host of our show. We did a show called the Brad and DM Show. It was on that radio station right there. I don't say the name. But we did, 4 years as morning show. I knew nothing about being a morning show DJ. I was hired because they could pay me $7 an hour. And they're all, we'll just throw this guy in. He's kind of funny. So they threw me in, and we went straight to #1 in the Independent in Santa Barbara, the publication, 1997 and 98, back-to-back DJ of the Year. And from knowing nothing in 96 to turning around and almost getting fired until eventually getting fired. But that was the beginning of my career right there. By getting that job and getting #1 in 98, the very next year they fired me. And I was unemployed, wife pregnant, and not happy. Not happy at all. Then went to Santa Barbara to K-Tide Radio across town and got a job with those guys, and then I've been with them ever since. So
you're still doing that show now?
yes, you can if you can you can tune in on ktyd.com. I'm on 7 to midnight West Coast time, Monday through Friday, and then 3 to 8 on Saturday. So I do 6 days a week. Classic Rock is the show. I've been doing it for over 20 years, but you can get it online, or if you're in Santa Barbara, you can get it on 99.9. But otherwise, if you listen on internet, it's ktyd.com is the radio station. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah. I love doing it.
And now you see, like, this guy is like my hero. In college, actually at Allen Hancock College, while I was going to get one of my degrees, I actually had a radio show that I did at lunch, and it was kind of fun. I've never DJ'd before, and I learned how to DJ. And my favorite song, ironically, was Police Synchronicity that I played at the end of my show. and I actually went to a concert at the local park, and they had the police there, so that was so cool.
You
So
know what?
do me a favor.
I
Go
never got to see the police. That's a regret, man. I still have a regret for that one.
ahead. So Carlo, do me a favor. Bring up the photo that I got. It says DJ at Dodger Stadium.
Oh yeah, that was a fun
Yeah.
gig, bro. That's one of
So,
my favorites, Papa J. That job right there. That's me and Will Ferrell.
oh my God, I didn't realize that was Will Ferrell.
Because he looks so young right there, right? I was DJing Dodgers from 2003 to 2008, and I was backup announcer too as well. And Will came into the game one day, and they sat him down. And he does this a lot. If you follow Will's career, he'll get in the booth and he'll announce the players and come up with funny nicknames. Well, he did that at Dodger Stadium, and I was playing the music underneath him, and we got that picture right there. Yeah, that's
Hey,
come on. And then
go
there's
ahead.
yeah. If you go now, look at that scoreboard at the left hand of the screen there.
Uh-huh.
Look how old that thing is.
Oh
That
my
thing is
God.
digital and it's got all the colors in it now. The same with those boards at the bottom. There's video boards all around that whole entire stadium now. But that's me in 2000. I'd say probably 4 or 5 at Dodger Stadium, and that's a fun job because you're playing music in reaction to what's going on the field. And so a home run, you have your home run songs, you have your base hit songs. That is one of those jobs where you're telling the story with your music.
Well, that is so awesome. So this is you going through the progression. You're
Yeah.
doing a radio show in Santa Barbara, which I actually worked the Olympics in Santa Barbara at that time.
You did?
Yeah, I actually worked the Olympics. It was really cool. I was a security sergeant because I came from
That's awesome.
Martin Marietta. I was a security guard at Slick Six out on Vandenberg Air Force Base.
Yeah.
And then that summer, I went and stayed at Sigma Nu, and I became a Sigma Nu, but stayed there. And I was a security sergeant at the Olympic Village. I actually got to hold a gold medal in '84. It was.
I mean, I have since
pretty awesome.
then, but that was one that I came down to. They were doing what was it? Windsurfing at Leadbetters, and it was a
Mhm.
demonstration sport, so it wasn't officially a medal sport. But I went down and saw some of that, and I've been an Olympic nerd since I was a little kid. So being part of 9 Olympics now under my belt is like probably one of the most favorite accomplishments that I've done. Yeah, I've done over 60 X Games, but I'll tell you, when it comes down to it, the Olympics has always been one of my favorites.
So, Carlo, go ahead and bring it up full screen. So, Brad, let's talk about the Olympics. You said how many? You've been to 9?
9.
9.
9.
Dude, and that's what? It's every 4 years, so it's like a long time.
Well, it's every 2 because they switch from it's summer then winter. Remember how it was 4 years and they would do summer and winter in the same year, and then they stopped that and they went back to or not back to, they went to 2-year summer, 2-year winter, 2-year summer, 2-year winter. So that's how they're doing it now. And I started in 2002 with Salt Lake was my first one. I was hired to hire all the DJs for all the venues and then create a CD music library for all the venues. And so that was my job there. So I wasn't even really announcing, but I lived in Utah for about a year and doing that. That was a big time job. One of my favorites too as well.
Man, so talk to me. So you had to get all the DJs for the Olympics, right? Did you oversee them too?
To a point, but the guys that I hired, I was already in the industry of working for X Games and all the other sports I was doing. So I already knew all the DJs because I picked the guys on what I was already doing. So I worked with guys in basketball, I worked with guys in baseball, X Games, Gravity Games, and so I grabbed all those DJs that I knew and brought them out to Salt Lake.
Man,
So,
so what
so I
was
already had, and I didn't have to look over them because for them, they knew what
that's
they
what
were
they do.
doing. They were hired to do that job. They knew it, the job.
And if you went in there, we're like, hey, Brad, we're good. We kind of done this a little bit. So
And really,
you go over and do that.
Papa J, I didn't even have to work, man. Like once it started, once I did the music library with my wife, we did it together. Once I did that, the job was done. So when it started, I started just going to whatever venue I wanted to. I'm like, you know what? Today I'm going to go to hockey and see the gold medal match. Today I'm going to go to snowboard half pipe. Today I'm going to go to aerials. Today I'm going to go to this. And each day I went to a different sport. And once I was there, I could just mill around. I had Infinity Pass, so I could go to every sport anytime I wanted. So I really thought that was going to be how I did the Olympics, and that's not how it turned out.
Yeah, I know when I was in the Olympics and security, I had that all-purpose pass.
Yeah, the
And
Infinity. It's like this little circle thing. Yeah.
yeah, and then I remember having to go and do the security background, and they did some delving in, but it was good because my dad worked. He was in the Air Force, and he also
Yep.
worked for Martin Marietta, and my mom worked for the hospital, local hospital, and there was 8 of us Skinners, so we a pretty clear background and everything. So that was pretty awesome. So your Olympic experience and going to different venues, who is the most exciting person that you've met? And let's say your X Games versus your Olympics.
Well, that's a super good question. Man, that's a tough one. At the Olympics, I think one of the best things I got to see was I got to see the USA sweep in half pipe and snowboarding, which was to me being there on the side of the pipe, and I know all 3 of those guys to this day who were on that podium, and that was the first time the USA had swept a winter event like that since the 50s. Like that's a long time, 2002 from the 50s to then. So that was really crazy to be part of that. But you got to meet. I got to introduce. What was the band? You remember the band Smash Mouth?
Yeah, yeah.
So they were playing, and I got to introduce them. And they showed up, and they had all their stuff backstage. And this is the 2002 Olympics. And I see their cooler. I'm needing something to drink. I'm a little thirsty at that time. Popped it open. It's full of Coronas. So, this is Utah. It's a different time, and it's not a big drinking area. And I started like having a few beers, and then the manager caught me and goes, "What are you doing, man? That's the band's beer. You can't drink that." And I go, What are you, like the manager of the beer?" I told the guy. He did not like that. And then one of the dudes came on stage and he looked at me and he goes, "You just introduced us?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh man, Sammy Hagar just introduced us," making fun of me like I look like Sammy Hagar. So I thought that was funny. But I got to meet Harry Connick Jr. I met at an event. I also got to meet Moby of all people. I got to meet him. And you just got to meet some stars. But being out there, it was all about the events for me. Like USA, hockey, being out there for that was just so fun. Everything about that was fun. But then let me just tell you how it changed. 2004, I'm hired to do the Greece Olympics in Athens. And I'm like, "Oh, cool. I'll DJ baseball." So I'm going to DJ baseball. I get there and I learn I have to do 3 games a day. So DJing 3 games a day, think about baseball, how long a game can go, right? You can go 3 to 4 hours. So then I realized I didn't have laundry facilities anywhere near. So I had 2 uniforms, 3 games a day, every day for like 10 days. And so I started getting creative. I would literally come home from working to my hotel room in just outside of Athens in Greece. And I'd climb in the shower with soap and I would do I'd rinse my uniform off in the shower. I would soap it up, wash it out while I was wearing it, wring it out, and hang it up on the balcony. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize what us
Excuse me.
old school guys used to do, because working security and at the Olympics, yeah, you only had so many uniforms, and you're a 20 something year old kid up there working, and so yeah, you found ways to make stuff happen.
Yeah, I mean it was shorts and a like a polo shirt and socks. So literally, I would take the shirt off, soap it all up, wring it out in the shower while I'm showering, and then hanging on the balcony, hang the shorts on the balcony, switch into the next uniform the next day, do the exact same, rinse and repeat every single day. So I went from having all the access to just one venue. It was crazy. It wasn't fun.
So, God, see now you guys see what happens when you get older. Y'all, one person starts coughing, we all have to start
Oh,
coughing.
I've had a cold now for 3 days.
Yeah, and I
And it
was
just
totally fine until I started talking to you. So what the heck?
how did you
So
catch it over the phone line? I don't know how that works.
I'm telling you, AI can do so much different stuff. It's just kind of crazy.
Ah,
So your different places of
mm,
DJing. So you're on a radio station, you still are right now.
yep, still.
How, because you're in so many different time zones, and how often do you do the radio show? Is it every weekend?
No, I'm on. I'm on. I have to record a show basically every single day. So I've got to a point where I'm pretty fast at it. So I can knock out a 6 hour show in like 20 minutes. So I know where the music goes. I know what we're talking about. And I just hit record and I start just going. And that gets me through it and I can send it. So I do 6 days a week and I have for like almost 20 years for these guys now.
Man, that is incredible. And so how does that relate to we talked a little bit about the Dodgers. What other teams have you done? Because I think you've done some a couple other teams too, right?
Basketball, I did Clippers. So Clippers, I was the on-court announcer. So for that, I was I would just do all the stuff in between, like the half court shot, all these little shootout games. I would come on during the timeout breaks, and that was fun. That was a really fun job because you're the dude on the middle of the court. And I remember one time I got my first big heckler. I go out, Papa J will love it. So I'm out there, I'm on the court. We host this like Staples Center shootout, and these guys are shooting baskets to win some fan package. And as I'm walking off the court, as the crowd kind of dies back down, the game's about ready to start. Somebody from way up in like the second story just shouts out as loud as possible, heard throughout the entire arena. You suck, Brad J. Like, are you serious? 16,000 people, and I'm just doing my job, and you're yelling that. So, and it was just like, and so then it happened again at the next game. So I think it was him, and I kind of acknowledged him the first day. I'm like pointed to him like, excuse me, like that was funny. And every time I acknowledged him, he did it again. So I stopped and he stopped. But I learned a lesson.
Yeah, those kind of opportunities that we have that mine are not as big as yours, of course, but these special events and everything when you go out there and you're just
You're
out there
opening
to
up.
introduce a band or something like that, and there's always that heckler that feels that they could do it much
Yeah.
better than you. And then when
Well,
you
you know
turn it
what?
on to them, they're like, and that's pretty ironic.
I did something to Kobe Bryant one time, and man, he never forgave me for that one. And I always regret that one because we're playing the Lakers. It's Clippers versus Lakers. I work for Clippers. Clippers were the home team because they share the arena with the Lakers. So that game, we were the home team, and we were beating them pretty good. And I went to hype the crowd at the end of the talk break, like the end of the timeout. And Kobe's kind of walking towards me, and I see him. I went, "Oh, I'm gonna do it." And I just go and make some noise for the best team in Los Angeles. Your Los Angeles Clippers. Like went in his face, Papa J. Like I don't know what I was thinking. That was just an idiotic move. And he looked like he wanted just to smash me so hard to disrespect him at the Staples Center like that. So the next year, his wife has their baby, and we're playing him again, and he's stretching on the court, and I have full access, so I can walk all over the court before the game and during the game. It's yeah, no problem. So I see him in a full like leg stretch, and hey Kobe, congratulations on your new daughter. Oh my gosh, he looked at me with just this look of disgust and didn't even say a word to me and looked and went back down and started continue to stretch. Not a thank you, nothing. He held that He did not like what I did. And so years later, after his passing and stuff, I still am saddened that I did that. That was stupid. I was just a young man just trying to be the funny guy, and that just went off the wrong way. So there's
Yeah,
a regret
well,
right there.
yeah, we have those teachable moments, and sometimes they're
Yeah.
really stuck. Real quick, I just want to say Wesley King went ahead and chimed in. Wesley's right after me with the Aquatics Life. He says he
Yeah.
loves the X Games. So if you love the X Games, you got to love Brad J. I'm just saying. So listen, Brad, we're going to take a real quick break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, the El Salvador
Oh, the Surf
Surf
Shack.
Shack. So
Okay.
we'll come back. Carlo, go ahead and take it away.
In today's parks and recreation industry, communication, safety, and efficiency go hand in hand. That's where Outdoor Link comes in, delivering smart technology that empowers city departments and community planners to do more, smarter. Outdoor Link's platform connects and automates everything that keeps your parks running smoothly, from lighting and locks to signage, water features, Wi-Fi, and digital advertising. Control and schedule park lights for safety and energy savings. Remotely manage facility access. Coordinate fountains and splash pads. Provide public connectivity. All from one simple, unified platform, giving you real-time control, data, and cost efficiency. For parks and recreation agencies, that means safer spaces, smarter resource use, faster responses, and stronger community engagement. And behind every great park story is great infrastructure. That's why Outdoor Link proudly supports DPRS Media Company, helping the Daily Parks and Rec Show amplify the voices of professionals shaping our communities every day. Outdoor Link, smart, connected solutions for parks, recreation, and beyond.
They say it's just rec. Just rec, where kids learn to try again. Just rec, where confidence begins. Where teamwork, effort, and fun matter more than trophies. It's not about perfection. It's about participation. It's not just rec. It's where kids learn to love the game and themselves. It's just rec until they learn teamwork for life. It's just rec, but it's everything to them. It's more than rec. It's a movement. It's just rec until you realize it's shaping the next generation. Together, we're not just running programs, we're building a culture of confidence, connection, and community. Join us.
Thank you, Carlo. So those are two of our major sponsors. The first one, Outdoor Link. Dave Ramirez does a great podcast called Smart Parks. So basically, if you have a park that you have lighting,
Papa J, not hearing.
You're not hearing me? Can you hear me now? I can. Oh, you can't. It's on your side, Brad. You can't hear me? He's not hearing me. Okay. So, hey, you know what? Rejoin. Sign out and sign
I'm not hearing actually the audio.
Oh, look at your screen. Oh my goodness. This is live radio, and this is what happens. So hopefully, Brad, sign out and sign back in. That's my worst sign language. So let me see. Sign. This is what live radio looks like. O-U-T. Let's see if this works. Brad. Let me see. Can you see it? Oh, no, I can't see it. Oh, I can't see it. So he needs to sign out. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the commercials real quick. But Outdoor Link is an opportunity for you to go ahead and communicate with the parks that you have. So if you have lights that are on and somebody calls you, you can go ahead and turn them off by a stroke on your phone. The
Yeah,
other
I'm
one,
not getting the audio here.
yeah. So
I'm not hearing anything you're saying, and it says
I know,
everything's working.
I know. What
I
I
think
need you
it's
to
on
log
your
out,
end.
log out, log out. I don't know how to say log out, but anyway. So um, yep, this is
212.
what
Yeah.
happens. Ouch. Let me see if this works. Nope, there's too much light in here.
I can't see that. I can't see that.
Okay, I'm not sure how we're gonna do this. Um, oh, look at your screen. Yeah, look. Trying to tell him to look at his screen. Hopefully he sees it. But you need to log out. But logging out and he's logging back in. Live radio, you gotta love it. So Outdoor Link is great because we have a serious kind of system like that. And actually, you heard from Bo last week, and we're looking at some different things. Or Lake Elsinore's looking at some different
We
things.
got it. I got you.
So he's back. Woohoo! Yeah, live radio. And
It
then
happens.
so Outdoor Link, Dave Ramirez, he has a great show. The other one has to do with youth sports. Aaron Locks actually does youth sports mastery. He has 2 shows on. There might be some really cool stuff coming up. But if you want to learn about youth sports, it's really great. If you're an organization who doesn't have a youth sports and wants to get one, Aaron has an actual turnkey that he can come in with staff and run a youth sports program. Now, if you're interested in being a sponsor of one of the shows, either this one or one of the other ones you see, we have some opportunities that are coming up that will be rolled out here in the next month or so. So if you're interested in sponsoring, the Director Pepper Social Club or Outdoor Links, not Outdoor Links, but the different shows, you have that opportunity. We hope to have you there. So, Mr. Brad,
Yo.
one of the things I had a question was, during COVID, when things were more of, staying apart and everything,
Yeah.
how did you, function through that?
That was not easy because all the jobs disappeared too. So like there was no X Games because X Games had to take a hiatus because you couldn't do that. And then they started doing X Games with just athletes only without any crowd or anything. That was really weird. So it was a tough time. We were remodeling a place, working on a house in Florida at the time. So I had something to do. I was locked down, had an outdoor pool, and like it was nice there. But as far as work wise, I didn't have squat. I didn't do anything at all really for a while. And then X Games realized, okay, well, we got to get an announcer back, and so they brought me back out, and then everything kicked back in. But yeah, that was a tough go. But by then, I wasn't doing NBA, I wasn't doing MLB anymore, so that's where that would have really taken a hit. But no, for that, it was a tough go. But I spent a lot of time on my mountain bike riding. That was for one thing. I definitely did a lot.
Yeah,
But
do me a favor, Carlo. Could you bring up the picture of Brad mountain bike? I went and searched you, man. I got
what?
that. Yeah, bring that one up of him doing a hang loose with his buddy.
Oh shoot! What do you got?
It was a picture online, so it's true. So,
Anything
so
online is true. And we'll
Carlo,
talk.
did
Yeah,
you
we'll
bring that
talk
picture
about the El Salvador house for sure. I want to talk to you about the surf shack. Yeah.
up?
Because that thing
Definitely.
is like the stuff I read online there is crazy
Oh my
sometimes.
goodness!
Yeah.
And I was actually before I signed in today, I read the latest one. Very very interesting. So while he's looking for that, let's go ahead and go to the El Salvador. Oh, there we
Oh
go.
yeah. Okay.
There
Yeah.
you
That's
are.
you know where that's at, right?
No.
You're gonna love this. The picture you took from the internet, that is Lookout Point in Lompoc. Looking
Oh
down
my
the new.
goodness!
That's the new bike trails right there.
Wow, dude, I've
And that
I've been
is
going.
and that's Country Joe Ferguson right there. Good friend.
I have
Yeah.
been gone from Lompoc for Oh my goodness, probably 25 years, and I
So
haven't,
that so the trail you see above my head in this picture, the big
uh-huh.
that's the white one right there, that's the road to Lookout where in Lompoc we would go and park up there and look at the sights from there.
Yeah, yeah. Look at the
Yeah.
sights.
Look at the sights. You know what I'm talking about. And and now they built all these amazing trails there. It's Lompoc's really stepped up on the mountain bike side of things. It's pretty cool to see.
Well, that's awesome. I have another friend of mine, Doug Grove, who is an expert mountain biker, and that's what he does down in the LA area. And I mean,
There's good trails there. Yeah, I got into it announcing. I got hired to do an event in Whistler in Canada, and went out there. And I had not done it before, but since I had done a bunch of races, they like, yeah, they hired me to do it. And once I started doing that, I went, whoa, I got to get a bike. This is fun. And so I got a bike. Got my son a bike. We all rode bikes at that time. A lot of fun. Yeah,
man, oh man.
it's
Okay, go ahead,
such a
bring
good
us back
sport.
in, Carlo. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's talk Surf Shack. You mentioned that.
Yeah. So if you don't follow Brad, you need to follow him. Okay. Tell us what your various platforms where we can find you at.
Just like it says in the bottom part of this screen right here, the Brad J Show. If you go to the Brad J Show on Instagram and Facebook and subscribe or follow, you will get a plethora of videos. Hey, Russell. Sorry, my dog's barking. Hey, Russell. No, man. No. Nobody. No, Russell. So you get a plethora of all the videos. My wife and I was doing a bunch of events in El Salvador, surfing events for webcast. And we were there for like a month hanging out. And we just were sitting in the pool one day and we started talking about, well, what if we bought a place here? And we did. We bought a place there because we found something. My wife did all the work to find the lawyer so we could buy a place in El Salvador. And we bought one. And then immediately, how it always happens, I didn't have that job anymore. So I wasn't going back there to do any surfing events. So, and then my hip was getting bad. I recently had, about a year and a half ago, a new hip replacement on my right hip. And the hip was getting bad, so I wasn't surfing as much and I wasn't working. So the place kind of sat there. And we talked about, let's fix it up, let's fix it up. And then one day we finally booked our flights, flew out there, and I go, let's just film this thing. And so we shot in LAX for the first video and then shot another video. And I think I've had a couple videos that have gone almost 100,000 views or a little bit over that. And the progress has been us all the way through working there. And then our construction crew is still working while we're in the States. So then we was like, well, what do we do when we're in the States? Let's live in a Sprinter van and travel and see all our grandkids. And so then we started doing that in between going back to El Salvador. So it's been just crazy. I've had so much work this summer that we've been here a lot longer than I thought we would be. But we're going back there. Yep, there's a look at the wall. That is a massive wall that we always talked about building there to make the place a little more private. It's on a river. It's a half-mile walk to a real good surf spot that is an Olympic qualifier. And so the place is just, I mean, the water's 86 degrees every day. Temperatures, upper 80s. It's pretty hot Central America, that's for sure. But it's a cool project that we're working on, and we're gonna go back and do it again September. I got a surf trip to the Maldives coming up here on Monday with my wife, and then we're gonna head back to El Salvador and start working, get that wall finished, put a gate in right where that side is. There'll be a
Mhm.
sliding gate right there, and hopefully we can live there without having to defend ourselves from scorpions. Because
Yeah. So
we stayed in the property for probably a month one time, and I counted 5 scorpions I had to kill overnight that come into our place. So,
okay, I'm trying to convince my wife to come and visit you guys.
oh
I'm
no,
not
don't
sure
tell her not. Don't watch this part.
Yeah, I'm not missing the scorpion.
I'm
So
not going there until that has air conditioning in it, and the thresholds of the door don't let anything through. No, believe me, I'm the same way. I did not have to sleeping with one eye open.
oh my goodness.
But
Well,
yeah, the project's been great. The reception that people have given us, we went from like 2,000 followers on Facebook to like almost 13 or something like that thousand now. And it just keeps going bigger and bigger. Like every day there's like 10 new followers. And we're trying to cut videos as fast as we can, but we got to get back out there and start getting the real work done. The pool needs to get work done. We have so much plumbing to do out there. Like there's a lot to do, but we know that if we have a month, we can get a lot done.
Yeah. So, and again, you guys need to go and check out the Brad J show, because it's unfiltered. He tells it like it is.
Yeah.
He shows that, um, from failure comes success. You have those people out there that all they want to do is be negative. And
Sure.
there was a couple that we
Oh,
had
yeah.
that Brad had that he put out there, and he puts people on blast, and they deserve it. And when keyboard warriors are the best, because they typically don't go outside, they don't have friends. And so but all of his content is positive. I love the one, I was watching it last night, where you're talking
Which one?
about the lady. I call her Lady Tara. She's
Yeah.
What do you call her? You call her Team Tara.
Team Tara. She's
Team
actually
Tara, but I call her Lady Tara. And so Brad asked a question. He says, "Okay, tell me the 3 worst things and the 3 best things." And the 3 worst things went on for a while, and Brad's like, "Okay, I'm not sure if you got to all 3."
We had a good laugh. We had a good laugh. Listen, I watched that video with my kids, my daughters, and they just thought it was so funny. It's funny because she's in the background right now with our granddaughter, bouncing her around, singing to her. So I'm
Tara,
seeing
I
this.
love you. You're the best. Brad, your back must hurt from carrying this guy.
Yeah, she's put up with the gratitude for many years. That's for sure.
But you know what? She had this comment when you asked about the 3 things that she loved about it, and it's like, and it depends on how you listen to it. I know how I listen to it. She says, you don't have roots, you have wings.
Yep.
And it had to do with the opportunity to be able to travel wherever you wanted to go when you wanted to go with the Sprinter van. You have the roots, you have the grandkids, and I have my grandkids and everything like that, but you're able to go when you want to go. Now the toilet thing, you're gonna have to figure that out. That's a
wow
thing.
that's a rude awakening. I do business very early, and that just doesn't really condone in the RV style life. Like, I'll just leave it at that.
You get that teardrop trailer behind you. You can put a lot of stuff in there.
I mentioned that to my wife this morning. I said, a teardrop trailer, and we could tear all the stuff out of the Sprinter in the back and just have, it set up to where it stores everything, and then we just sleep in the trailer. But what we like about the Sprinter is we have the blackout inserts for the all the windows.
Oh, nice.
So when you're in that thing and you close it all off and you got the fan running in there, it's like a little cocoon, like a little bubble, and you're incognito wherever you go. So it's like you can pretty much sleep anywhere because it's just all closed up, and so nobody can see in or anything like that. So that's been the biggest interest. But what the thing is, you start finding places like you never would look for a place to stay overnight in your car. But now that you got a Sprinter, you're like, well, where do we stay tonight? Like, what are we going to do now? Like, so we just have got creative. But we were visiting my son up in Idaho. We hung with there for a couple of weeks, riding mountain bikes, and then we drove down to Santa Barbara. And now both my daughters are here in Carpinteria, so that's where we're at. And so now we're seeing them. So we sold a couple of houses, and we're just kind of doing this thing right now. And we're going to live half the time in El Salvador, half the time here. When I have work in the States, then we'll stay during that month. When I don't have work in the States for a month, we'll go to El Salvador. That's how we're looking at it.
To bring back Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell has a movie out now called The Hawk, and the Hawk lives in a motorhome.
Yep.
So you're the surfing Will Ferrell.
It's funny because I just downloaded like 10 of those episodes on my Netflix the other day.
It's a classic show. I love Will Ferrell. I've
He's a
loved
good
him
guy.
from semi-pro, the Anchorman,
Yeah.
so many other ones. One he was in with Kevin Hart. He had to be a gangster in prison, but that was hilarious. So
He's
going back,
good. You know what? But he's a nice guy too. Like the time that I've he's been in the booth 3 times that I was at Dodger Stadium, and all 3 of those times, such respectful, such a nice guy. So I have much respect for him.
well, you know what? We are going to have to get together and actually get together in person. It's been I haven't seen you in
Yeah.
like forever. But
Yeah.
back to the El Salvador Surf Shack. So I follow. I call it King Brad and Lady Tara, and you saw the wall. So could you do me a favor, Carlo, bring up my project? Because of the wall, we're having some some work done in the backyard, and this is our garden wall. It used to be railroad ties, and when we started watching several weeks ago, and you started, and we're having some grass put in the backyard,
That's
I
cool.
decided to build my own El Salvador Surf Shack wall, uh, Winchester edition. I was up last night until about 10 o'clock laying some of the bricks before the turf gets put in honor of you and Lady Tara.
Thank you, man.
I wanted to show you this
That's good work,
63-year-old
man.
guy can still lift a brick or two. Um, and,
That's
and,
good work.
and yeah, it's good from far away. Up close, you can see some some opportunities for success, as I say. But you know what? It's really great. So go ahead and bring us back, Carlo.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you the difference though in El Salvador wall into a wall built in the States. There's a lot more zeros in the wall built in the States than there is in El Salvador to that number
Yeah.
because that's the only reason. If I tried to duplicate that wall, 100 feet of 8 foot wall all the way across, and then a riverfront wall too as well, boy, that would cost, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000 like in the States. And it's definitely a third or a fourth of that to get that done in El Salvador. But I mean, it goes back to this. The words of Jackie Robinson, I always love this one. A life is important in only the impact it has on other lives. And when you tell me that, like you're inspired to do that, I get those kind of messages from people all over the world that say the same thing like that. Like, look, my wife and I always wanted to do what you're doing. We love living through your journey. We love being part of it and following it. We're going to do this. And then somebody's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get myself my own place. I'm going to go to Costa Rica. I'm going to have this. And then I meet people online that already have done that and are inspired by what we have done. So if it inspires you and just has an impact, to me, that's the most important. That tickles me at the heart to hear you do that and someone say the same thing to me, like, you've inspired us to do the same thing. And so that even my daughter is working on a cab over for their truck, so they have a place to stay, like because we got the Sprinter and they like the idea. So now her husband and her are like making that happen. So inspiration is what it's all about.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Shameless plug for myself. There's I'm starting a company called Memory Makers Collective because that's what we do. These different memories that we do, we pass them on, and people take them and they plant their own seed and grow their own tree. So it's very, very cool. Do me a favor, Carlo, bring up the Brad J Show logo that's there. So we're almost done here.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about your show real quick because we got about a minute, and then I got to do some advertising stuff. So talk about it real quick and how they can find it.
Yeah, the Brad J Show. Look, it's available on Instagram and Facebook. Those are the 2 I push the most. It is also available on YouTube. There's a bunch of stuff on YouTube. I need to update that better. But if you really just want the Brad J Show updated daily, do it on Facebook or do it on Instagram. If you're not a Facebook person, Instagram's your deal. I upload it to Instagram daily and the same on Facebook. And it follows all my travels through life and what's the journey my wife and I are on right now to fix up our house in El Salvador, to live in a third world country part-time and travel the world in a van when visiting our grandkids. So it's basically behind the scenes, a day in the life, whatever you want to call it. the Brad J Show, Instagram and on Facebook. And it's building. Facebook is building and Instagram is building day by day.
Definitely. So definitely, guys, go and see Brad on that. Follow him. You can see stuff on my Instagram and my Facebook talking about Brad. Coming up next week, I have a great friend of mine also, Pat O'Mara. Pat and I worked together in Reno. Now he's doing even greater things as a deputy recreation director. So that's next week at noon or 9 o'clock here in California. And then after this show, right now, coming up, we have the world famous aquatics boy, Wesley King, with Parks and Rec, all things aquatics. You guys, thanks so much for being here. And as we say, go out and make a memory. Have a good day.
This episode is brought to you by SDSU's Sports MBA program. If you're passionate about sports and want to work in the women's sports industry, then this is the time to pay attention. SDSU's program is 12 months accelerated hands-on learning where students have actually gotten to work with teams like the San Diego Mojo, partnered with the Farmers Insurance Open, and visited headquarters like the Upper Deck or Callaway Golf. It's built for people who want to be in rooms like that. So if you're interested, deadlines are approaching. Learn more or apply with the links in the description.
In the parks and recreation industry, attention is limited, but influence is everything. Every day, thousands of parks and recreation professionals make critical decisions. Decisions on infrastructure, programs, technology, and vendors. The question is your brand part of that conversation? DPRS Media Network was built to answer that question. We are a dedicated media ecosystem focused exclusively on the parks and recreation industry in the United States. Through a network of daily and weekly shows, we inform, connect, and influence this audience. Our distribution spans multiple platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, plus email campaigns, newsletters, podcasts, and live event coverage. This is not a single-channel strategy. It is a multi-platform media engine. Today, our network reaches over 214,000 connections, including 51,000 on LinkedIn, 64,000 on Facebook, nearly 40,000 email subscribers, and thousands more across podcast and social platforms. While some audiences overlap, our true value is not just reach, it is relevance. We speak directly to parks and recreation directors, program managers, and industry leaders, an audience that is highly targeted and actively engaged. Through DPRS Media Network, your brand integrates seamlessly into this ecosystem. Through sponsored show segments, targeted advertisement placements, podcast features, and host-read promotions, even custom branded content. Not as interruptions, but as part of the conversation. And we don't just operate online. We attend over 15 major parks and recreation conventions each year, reaching more than 24,000 professionals in person. Through live shows, interviews, and on-site media coverage, we position our partners at the center of the industry. Every piece of content we produce is amplified across our entire network. Multiple shows, multiple hosts, multiple platforms. Your message doesn't appear once, it multiplies. This is more than advertising. It is strategic positioning within a trusted media network built specifically for the parks and recreation industry. If your goal is to reach decision makers, build credibility, and stay top of mind, then it's time to partner with DPRS Media Network. Apply for partnership or sponsorship today. Let's position your brand where the industry is already paying attention.